All right. Looks like we're almost there. Coming in. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to HeartShift-TV and to Real Life Solutions. We have a wonderful guest with us today. And before we dive in there, I, of course, am Marcy Newman, your HeartShift coach and host of this program. I decided to bring you this programming because I realized there are so many people who have difficulties in, let's hold on. I have to, there we go. Anyway, I decided to open this channel because there are so many people who have a lot of issues that are coming up now where we're just realizing we need more in our lives. And so this channel is really dedicated to giving you that. So today I have with me LeeAnn Heltzel. LeeAnn, hi, welcome. And we're so happy to have you here.
Thanks, Marcy, for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, and so what you're going to learn today is a real life solution for meditation. I know with many people, there are issues with meditating, and I think that a lot of that has to do with just confusion about meditation. And so LeeAnn is going to speak to us about that. So let me tell you a little bit about LeeAnn, and then she'll share how all of this came to be for her. So LeeAnn describes herself as an explorer of human potential. She's also a death doula, and maybe we can talk about that at another time too, LeeAnn. A multidimensional artist and a marketing innovator. She describes herself as being born as a creative empath. LeeAnn is most comfortable unearthing her next greatest adventure, exploring what's possible with the capabilities of human potential. And of course, that's what we'll talk about today, and how to integrate these qualities into practical applications. LeeAnn is adept, and you're going to find out just how adept she is, into stepping into higher states of consciousness, and has developed a program with her signature Meta Insights. And this is where you will have an opportunity to explore your highest potential. Also, her immersive meta process, which is a creative cultural retreat where business leaders can experience liminal spaces and their highest potential. And of course, the subsequent impact that they, but also we as individuals, have on the world. So it was while doing this work that LeeAnn heard her call to create automatic, source-guided paintings for her clients. And it was here where meta art and ocular meditation was born. So this is so exciting for us. And again, thank you, LeeAnn, for being here. Take it away. Tell us how this, I'm really interested to know how this really evolved in you, because so many of our people in our audience are also in this process of evolving. And of course, as we evolve, we have everything that comes up from within that's been like clamoring to get out and show itself to the world. So tell us about your experience.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Marcy, for inviting me to join you here today. My story, like everyone else's, is a really long one because it's a lifelong journey that we've been on, whether we've been aware of diving into, our higher states of capacity or not. We're dreaming and creating every moment. And so mine's a decade-long journey of discovering and exploring, like I say, this human potential that we have inside of us, and so it's kind of started through being this spiritual seeker and owning a marketing firm, and so these qualities just started to blend together, and And in the short period of time we have, I'd prefer to not do too much of a history of me. I feel like people can kind of find that online.
Okay.
I'd really love to share these two experiences that, you know, are kind of big. And like you mentioned at the beginning, two different ways to meditate. And today's talk is all about connection, connection with each other, the world, and most importantly, ourselves.
Yes.
And so I love that your show is bringing these practical applications for people. So my personal focus, my passion always circles around freeing and expanding our reality to access that other 90% of our brain capacity that we typically don't tap into. And we do this by employing our imagination. Now, God, this is a topic we could talk about for hours, but we have this short period of time. And what I really wanted to do was bring both of these practices to you. So in the space of the next 45 minutes, we're going to do two things. We're going to step more into our highest self, or what I call our fully realized divine self. And then secondly, engage with him or her for inspiration and a deeper connection to life. So this practice energizes and activates those multidimensional parts of us that is the creator in us, and making us come more alive to what's truly possible, because people are longing for a deeper connection. Like you said, Marcy, it's a confusion because it's like there and they can't touch it yet, but they can feel it's right there. And this is happening for everybody, which is such a beautiful thing in humanity right now. So it exists for all of us. And we have these innate gifts of creativity and imagination, and these are tools. So both of these practices are going to engage creativity and imagination and meditation in a new way. So first off, we're going to do an open-eyed meditation with my meta art, which is channeled abstract art combined with sacred sound that interacts and activates our pineal gland. And we'll meditate with the meta art unity, because we want to come together for the next practice, which we're going to create this liminal space together. And we're going to step into our fully realized divine selves. And we're going to have the intention to experience unconditional divine love. So for a few minutes, we're going to live and breathe and feel unconditional divine love. So
How beautiful.
I'll start us off with the meditation, and then everyone's going to contribute to this. And so we're going to construct this liminal space together, because we know when two or more are gathered, what happens, right? That's when life happens. And so I have some friends here for an audience that have gone on one of these trips before, and we're just going to have some fun. So this practice, both of them, rewires our gets us outside of this reality. And it's going to bring in unconditional love so that our lives can be profoundly affected. Like Einstein says, we can't solve problems by using the same thinking we use to create them, right?
That's right.
We have to use our imagination. And so I use these tools with my clients to step into pure potential. And so all that's really needed, you don't have to have meditative practice. You don't have to be an innate meditator. You just have to have an open mind.
And that's why this is so important, to give people that option who believe that, they're not meditating unless they're doing it one way, and have, experienced so much frustration with that. So I know I'm so excited to jump into this. Thank you so much.
Exactly. There's so many ways to engage with these higher states. And so first, we're going to do this open-eyed meditation. And remembering these are to free our imagination, spark our creativity, and then we're going to create a profound trip together that's going to bring it into ourselves and upgrade our life. So when the open-eyed meditation is over, this small audience that we have, I'll ask you to turn on your audio, because then we're going to go right into closing our eyes and going into this immersive meta process experience where we're going to create this together. And we'll close our eyes, and I'll start us off, And when I say, what do you see, feel, or sense? That's your cue, audience, to start sharing what you're seeing. Because what one person sees, we're all going to see. Or, somebody may say, I feel this cool wind. We're all going to feel that cool wind and build this liminal space together, remembering with the intention to bring in unconditional divine love. And this is going to be a very short, condensed meditation,
Perfect.
but it's going to fill every cell in our body. So
Fabulous.
before we begin, any questions?
So, yeah, I think we're just excited to start, and there may be questions afterwards, which would be,
Sure.
wonderful. And of course, to have an extended discussion would be great, because what I found also is that very often, like initial experiences sometimes need to be processed for a few minutes too, right? Before we can put words to these incredible experiences that we've had. So this is going to be such a wonderful experience for everyone. Really, thank you so much, everybody, for being here, by the way, to be participating in this, and also for our audience that's live. Thank you.
Wonderful. So this video, I'm going to start in a second. It does have the instructions. I'll speak them very quickly, though. It's an abstract piece of art. If you can get it as large as you can on your screen, and you're just going to pick a spot on the painting wherever your gaze is guided to, and you're going to hold your gaze there through the entire meditation. And so the painting might morph or move. The colors may change. And that's all it interacting with your pineal gland. So those are all good things, should they happen. And so again, as soon as that's over, we will then close our eyes and go right into the guided meditation, so that we have time to create that liminal space, and then hopefully some time to talk after. So let me awkwardly share my screen. I just always, I'm always like, okay, here we go. Okay, wonderful. So just take a nice deep breath in, because you just spent 11 minutes in the frequency of unity. And that's a practice, obviously, with the art and the sound that you can, use anytime alone. So what we're going to move into now is a collective experience. And again, I will get the meditation started. If everybody here in the audience can...
Does your skin pass the pinch test? Let's try an experiment.
Sorry, this is why I try never to share my screen. Let me fix myself. Okay, sorry about that. So if everybody can take themselves off of mute, I will get the meditation started. I will land us in, and and when you hear me ask what you're seeing and sensing, then we can all share and create this space together. All right, so please close your eyes and let's take a nice deep breath in and out, just settling into this space, settling into this reality, into this room that we're sitting in the chair that you're in or on the floor, and feeling the air against your face, feeling the clothes on your body, being really connected to who you are right now, because we're about to leave and step into the body of our fully realized divine self, which is us in our highest form. We're connected to her or him. We're just going to spend some time in this amazing dimension of ourselves. So take another deep breath in and feel all the molecules in your body starting to loosen up and spread apart. Take a nice sigh. And one more deep breath in. And on this out breath, imagine in your third eye that we are standing in a circle under the tallest pine trees we could ever imagine. The sun is shining so brightly, but the trees are so tall. And the smell of the sap from the trees is so thick in the air. It feels so earthy. There was certainly just a rain. The ground is damp under our bare feet. The air is damp around us. It feels like a cool spring morning. And we've come together in this space, standing in a circle. And in our third eye, we look around to each of the individuals in the circle, greeting each other heart to heart, soul to soul. Know that we've come here to see and witness in each other our fully realized divine selves. So again, in our third eye, looking down at our bare feet, and it's just a base of dried pine needles, but that they're wet and soft and pliable and almost like a spongy cushion under our feet. Oh, that feels so good. But we notice that our feet are actually glowing. There's this soft light coming off of our feet and off of our legs, and we can follow our bodies the whole way up and know that we are resonating at a much, much higher frequency. We are, in fact, standing within our fully realized divine selves. It is us in our highest, truest divine nature. And we look around and see everybody in the circle in the same form, glowing, illuminated. And in the middle of the circle, there's this soft ball of light. It's breathing, it's emanating divine, unconditional love that resides in every molecule here on this earth and far out into the cosmos. It is God. It is creation. And we are all a part of it. So we take a nice deep breath in and out. What do you hear in this circle? See and sense and smell.
When we first arrived, I noticed that we were all kind of wearing our regular clothes. And then at some point, we all had on these white, flowing, very beautiful, flowing clothes. And it's almost like the glowing, it's almost like we're not translucent, but like not all the matter that you see in the earth plane. It's like we're glowing and less matter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see that. I see each one of us in these white. It's like the fabric. It's like the threads are glowing as well. And that luminosity looks a little transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It feels very joyous, light and free.
I smell the scent of lilies in the air and roses. There's a lot of floral scent, as well as the pine. And in our hair and around our necks are these beautiful white and ivory colored garlands, little tiny flowers.
Hmm.
And I feel as if we're in a very sacred space, almost like a grove. And immediately with the pine trees, I saw them reaching way, way up to the sky with the moon behind them. And yet the crest of the trees were formed like the tip of a teepee, all coming together to create this contained space, and yet it's a very expansive space. It's a space that's expansive because of the freedom in it. And I can feel the invitation to just let go into that ball of light and the free spirit of a flame that just reaches up and dances, sort of casting off its ash.
Hmm.
I've been here many times before. That's a sense that I have.
Beautiful. This love that's emanating from this ball that we're all standing around, I can see it flowing into everyone's heart chakra. And it's so illuminated. It's like it's alive, like an electrical pulse. And it's just filling our beings with love, with divine love, with that divine love that they can fill up and transform every cell in our body. That's what's making us so luminous. And Cheryl, as you were talking about these garlands around us, they're these tiniest blue butterflies that are also in the space, kind of fluttering around and somehow accessing that flow of energy, that those molecules of bringing it into us. It's like all of nature coming together to assist us. How does this feel in your body? How does your body feel?
My body feels electric.
Open.
I can feel this going out, this energy of reaching my hand to that ball in the center. And I can see us all doing that. And it's our right hand. We're like reaching to the ball and touching it, making this like offering. So there's this like offering. And then with our left hand to our bellies, almost like our belly button area, we're receiving. So we're like offering up something, and I can really feel it coming from the heart, and then receiving something into the body.
Wow. Yeah, it's so powerful. And it feels like it's flushing out any impurities, any lower frequencies.
There's like this great deal of love for each other and compassion for our humanity. And yet this acknowledgement of our divinity.
Yes, we're truly connected to everything and everyone. So how can we remember this? How can we lock this into our bodies? Because it's not just our physical body, it's all of our subtle bodies. So let's ponder this and share how perhaps each one of us will choose to anchor this in.
For me, it's the scent of the pine needles and the feel of them beneath my feet.
Beautiful.
And for me, it's that embodied, literally lifting my right hand to touch the globe and my left hand to my belly button in that physical, that moment of physicality.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For me, that sensation of being in a circle and feeling that energy, very similar to energy of selenite.
Mm. So even just holding selenite can take you back to this space.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
this ball of light, I almost feel like I can breathe it into my heart space. And so that's my anchor, is just my hand on my heart space. And just that feeling, that sense of almost like pulling in, and how the breath happens so organically. And I can bring it in consciously, but when I'm not, just kind of setting that up as a little playful experiment, that just allowing myself to pull in that love unconditioned through each breath.
Mm. For me, there's something about the balls of my feet, just even standing kind of on my tiptoes, and then wiggling them on the surface of the ground, just anchors me back into this physical space with all of you.
For me, it's touching my fingers together, my thumb and my index finger, to be able to anchor in, to remember.
Beautiful. And we just look around at the space, the beauty of it, the colors, the sounds, the smells. And we look and make eye contact with each beautiful soul here, knowing that this is real, this love is here for us, this magic. It's not fantasy, it's not fiction, it's within us. And so we do a small bow to each other, and a bow to this energy that's emanating from the center of the circle. And we take a step back, and we take a deep breath in and out, and another step back. And on this in-breath, we begin to return back into us, sitting in our chairs, sitting in our room, sitting on this Zoom call, wiggling our fingers and toes, and allowing the space to stay open around us, to always access, to always connect to always feed us. We have our ways to remind ourselves how to return here, because we can always return here. So on this next deep breath in, you can open your eyes and return to this call. Thank you, everyone, for playing. I'll open it up to anything anybody wants to share and say about either the meditating with unity or this second process.
So I'll start. First off, thank you so much. It was so beautiful. And I, excuse me, I loved sharing this experience with all of you. And particularly as we were sharing our visualization and just feeling all of that love that everyone was pouring into that vision, and how each of us was both experiencing it and expressing it. One thing I wanted to say about that, as I said, I felt like I had been there many times before. So I felt that it was a very well-established sacred space, and that this meeting and that luminous ball of energy was what had called us there. And what was interesting, just as a side note, is that when LeeAnn, you said, and this is all inside of us, that orb immediately went into me, went right into my belly. I don't know if anyone else experienced that, but I felt the whole orb just being embodied by me. And I could feel its presence in me and all of the light emanating. So that was amazing. But I'd like to tie it back to the initial part of the meditation as we were staring at unity, because what I zeroed in on were these orbs. And as I was looking at the painting, it was to the right side. And there's one place where one sort of has a loop that connects it to the next. And immediately I felt like I was doing time travel. I felt like I was jumping timelines from orb to orb to orb. And it took me in this journey, you might say, where I found myself. Then there's this one, it's also on the right side of the canvas. And it's appeared to me as if it initially was like, I had the thought it was Gabriel's trumpet that was coming out. And then it turned into me as a glass blower. And I had that cylinder and was blowing these orbs. So as I'm talking, you can't see, but I'm covered in God bumps, as I call them, because I feel like this was the two experiences were one and the same, which of course is unity. But I also feel that I experienced a parallel dimension, and that I was sort of traversing these timelines until I found the one that I wanted to be in, which is where you took us in the meditation. It was awesome. That's all I can say. It was awesome. I hope everyone who watches this video has, such a transformational response, because I was completely transported throughout every single one of those little, almost like vignettes. It was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. That's so wonderful. And that's what this whole practice is for, is just to get us out of this constructed, conditioned space that we spend our days in, and as many moments as we can spend in these other spaces, whether through the art or through this type of meditation, or all the multitude of ways that we have access to, right? The more we can do that, then the more it can flow into us organically without us choosing to, I'm going to do this meditation now, right? It just starts to become one with us. Yeah. I know we want to try to keep it,
Well, you know what? I'm sure that everyone in the audience, both in and out of this Zoom room, is really just, on the edges of their seats. Let's just go. I'd love to hear from everyone else and hear what their experiences are. I think that our sharing of experiences gives other people permission to, as you said so beautifully, LeeAnn, to just let themselves go, to be free to experience these things and get out of the confines of us needing to particularly experience meditation as just one thing, So, no, I'd love to hear from everyone, and let's just go for it.
Okay. Anyone else?
I had a really cool experience towards the beginning, LeeAnn, of the group experience. Just coming into that circle, and we just organically, we each put our left hand on our own heart, and then our right hand on top of each other's hand on their heart. And it was what Cheryl was talking about during. It was like there was this giving and receiving of love and honoring and sacredness. And then when it came up later with this orb in the middle, it was like, ooh, it was just so much fun. That I love when that happens, when you're connected, like we literally are connecting in that space in a way that we can't even comprehend. And it was just so beautiful to have each of you in that experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's always this sense of being so connected, right, to all the people in the experience, because we're just being reminded of it. Yeah, thanks. That's beautiful.
At the beginning, for me, I love this type of modality of meditating and connecting. And when at the beginning, staring at that space, feeling the space breathe and pulsate and connect, and then having the different shapes change. So being part of the whole and each other, it was really transformational in that moment. And then going into the orb, like what you were saying, Dina, it just all came together so beautifully, and to feel that energy of interconnectedness, not only with each other, but with everything, all as one in that space of unity. So thank you very much. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Oh, it just makes me go, oh, like I can even feel more just release out that flow coming in from that aura, right?
And that breathing, it's like the exhale, the inhale, the release, the nourishment. It's just beautiful and profound.
And that's what was happening with me with the painting as well. It was breathing. And so it was this really subtle movement of that. Yeah. Oh, Cheryl, you're muted.
That I was having that experience as well. In fact, at one point I was like, is she making the screen larger? And, after having meditated with your paintings for, years, I realized, of course she isn't. This is, the painting is like pulsating. And then this really lovely, gentle kind of voice came through as I was focusing on, a certain part of the painting. And it said to me, like in the gentlest of ways, soften your gaze, not so focused, almost like we would hold a bird, and just like this really, so I kept, like even allowing my gaze to be softer, instead of sort of like that, like hard point that sometimes like I'll go to. And so what that caused is like this deeper empty presence and more, almost like more light, more like almost like a fuzziness to what I was, looking at. So there was like this like larger picture, even though I was gently focusing on one area. And then as we were in the meditation, I kid you not, this happened. The ice cream truck came through my neighborhood, which never happens. And the song When the Saints Go Marching In was playing. I had to mute because it was so loud. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was participating. The ice cream truck was participating.
It felt like super joyful, super delightful. Like, yeah. So
I think that ice cream truck was just on the other side of those pine trees.
Right.
Right. And then at the end of the meditation, we just all met out there and just, got ourselves whatever push-up cone or whatever. Amazing. The synchronicity in that, right?
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Wow. I love that. Anything else before we close from anyone?
Well, I think what I would like to sort of spotlight, excuse me, is really what we learned today. We learned a couple of things. Number one, that meditation and that state of moving outside of the confines of the self can occur in many different ways. Your painting, as you shared with us, it was something that was channeled through you. And that channeling is just this full expression of the divine, right? That comes through us, and it comes through us in so many different forms. And in fact, we could even say that this meditation that we experienced is the divine coming through us. We are looking through the eyes of God. We are experiencing through the lack of a better term, almost the body of God, the formlessness of God, and how it takes us outside of ourselves. So we learned that meditation doesn't have to be, sitting in lotus position on the floor, back straight, just, trying to get rid of our thoughts. That's usually what, is the biggest challenge for people, because it's totally unnecessary. But we also learned that meditation doesn't have to be in isolation. Meditation, again, there are these myths about meditation that in order to really commune with that divine, with that God within, that we have to be, insulary. We have to be isolated and quiet and, just in that space, when in fact, we just had the most incredibly profound experiences in the exact opposite, right? In the opposite situation. So this is a huge thing for all of us to take in, that this ability to move outside of the confines of ourselves can also be within a group setting. And particularly like us, we had, the same heart and mind. We came in with this intention to have this experience together. And so I think what everyone must be realizing is how we weren't just here for ourselves, we were also here for each other. And that's also how we experience the divine. And I love so much about, even as I was going through your bio, LeeAnn, and you talk about providing these experiences for both people and for businesses to experience their greatest potential. But it also is in this realization that we have a profound impact on the world around us. That's why we do what we do. We are fed. We are so elevated, and we get, we have a chance for those cells to get out and those particles to experience other parts of the world. And that's so wonderful and so freeing. But what we also then have is this incredible gift to give to the world. That's what meditation is about.
Thank you, Marcy. That was beautiful. Yes. And I just want to add that we did this with our imagination. We did this with being creativity, bringing that creativity out. And so these are important things. They're not frivolous things that we did when we were children. These things, when we foster them, can connect us deeper and outward and inward, and allow us to expand. So always keep that in mind, that that's such an important tool that only we as humans have. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for inviting me and allowing this to unfold today.
Well, we've learned so much through you, and of course have had this incredible experience that will be shared with others. And please, anyone watching, please share this with your friends, bring them to this channel. These are real life solutions, and we all need them. We need to, create a new foundation for living, because life is clearly a bit upside down at the moment, and we're creating a new one, right? So yeah, Bring your friends, bring your family, hell, bring your enemies. Give them something to really fill them and free them too, because we all deserve to be living in this connected way to ourselves and, of course, to each other. And so I'd love to say thank you to everybody in our audience, to Ozana and Dina and Cheryl and Amy, and of course, LeeAnn, for bringing this all together, sharing your beautiful heart and this incredible process. And I know that we will be changing lives right here, right now. So thank you so much. And yeah, please subscribe. And again, share, share, share. We're all in this together. And so as we support each other, we get to live life the way we're all meant to, and of course, deserve to. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Thank you,
So
Marcy.
many blessings to you.
Yeah.
Namaste.